Partner, we're not in the way anymore. Hey, we can take you to the World Cup final. When Africa's in the Rugby World Cup final tonight. Yes, can you don't feel it? Let's go, World Cup final.
Hey, welcome to your number one rugby podcast, guys. This is Behind the Ruck, okay? As final week, Bokke, All Blacks, let's go. I'm Rudy Juan. I've got next to me
Juan de Jong.
Welcome, partner.
Yes, partner, man. It's the final countdown.
Maak los. Hier gaan ons. Hey, maak los. Hier gaan ons.
Oh, fantastic weekend of rugby, eh? Wow, our boys is in the final.
Meneer, hoe was het zo, dear?
Yo. Inch by inch, play by play.
Doesn't matter, we the Bokke in the final.
I almost had a heart attack this weekend. Yo. I feel like I need match fees for that. That's stress. I need match fees. I'm going to speak to Rassi, speak to Jack. I need match fees.
Rassi Jack doesn't have our number anymore, partner, okay? They've lost our number, but it's fine because we support them.
Yes,
They're number one. Let's go. Rassi Jackie, doen het voor zijn naam.
Yes, in the final. Hey, partner, how you doing? Are you good?
I'm good. I'm excited. The week has been long. Everywhere I go, I'm speaking about the final, the box, the strategy of Rassi. If I'm walking in the mall and I see someone, I just want to say, Soloza. Hey. So that's my excitement.
Buzz in South Africa. It's fantastic to be back in Cape Town. Obviously, we've been away for this weekend. Shout out to Al Masila, luxury resort and spa. They've been fantastic, hosting us, and also just Qatar Airways. Obviously, you're going to speak about them now, them boosting them, them backing us as well. And then we were in Bokke as well, supporting with the South African supporters. What an awesome weekend, eh?
Fantastic. Guys, while we're on the protocol, episode sponsor for today is Qatar Airways. So today's episode was in business class.
Business class, eh?
Okay.
And we were in business class.
Yeah. I told you a week ago we're a big deal.
Big deal? Stay humble, seatbelt.
Sorry.
Q suite. We were in the Q suite.
Yes. Okay, so guys, episode sponsor Qatar Airways. Thank you guys for support. And then our long-standing partner, Lulabet. Okay. Thank you guys for always supporting us and making all of this possible. All right. And that is obviously all protocol observed. This is an exciting episode. Qatar Airways is bringing it to us. Wow. Qatar Airways. That was the game before the World Cup when we actually the 7-1 game.
25th of August in Twickenham.
That is where Qatar
35-7. We need to cover that.
So Qatar and special games go hand in hand.
Yes, special games it is, eh? Coming up this weekend as well. Yes.
Yeah, massive game. I was too small. I am interrupting you. Sorry.
Yes.
I am excited.
No,
I'm like a kid in a candy store. I want spook awesome. Give me chocolates, mommy. Alles. Give me everything this weekend. Ek maak my skuld ook vir die Bokke. Ek joke net. But I was too small, partner, when the Boks played the All Blacks at Ellis Park. You understand? I know what it meant for the country. I know the heroes we got out of that game. But I think I was 6 years old, so I couldn't actually remember the moment and all of that.
Yeah, me too.
I just knew it was Chester Williams and Joel Skransky and Joos van der Westhuizen, and those were our heroes. So this time we get to relive all of that as an adult.
Yes, so all I can remember is the guys down down the street. Back in the day, I was 8-9 years old. But hopefully we can just go back to back and do it again. Back to back. Hey. Back to back. Hey. It's fantastic. I can't wait for the weekend, eh? I'm counting the days.
Partner, I'm like a jack in the box. Okay?
Yes.
I don't know what Mama's going to do with me tomorrow night when the game is on. She's got to put a seatbelt on me. Okay? Because the whole time I want to sing back to back.
Hey,
back to back. Okay.
But let's not get carried away. Okay. But fantastic weekend waiting for us. But our lineup is more fantastic. Is that the word?
Yeah, I love it.
Fantastic.
I love it when you make up your own words.
You said if the Springboks win, I can do whatever I want to do.
Exactly. So what is the lineup?
Yes, the lineup. Oh, fantastic. You spoke about the 1995 Rugby World Cup. And first 5-8 for New Zealand. Andrew Mehrtens on the show today.
On Behind the Ruck.
And Behind the Ruck. Lucky for days. Huh?
Behind Andrew Mehrtens.
Andrew Mehrtens, yes.
The Crusaders and All Black.
Yes, that's the one, yeah. Wow. And also, there's a guy coming back as well.
Yes.
He's got a 2007 Rugby World Cup medal. He's been in France. He got it in France. Rugby World Cup medal. Bryan Habana.
Hey.
He's back. He's becoming a friend of the show.
He is a friend of the show.
Yeah, like Gio Aplon and Warikalan
Warikalan
is a friend of the show.
Thank you.
So fantastic to have them both on a Zoom call for us, dissecting, especially the Twickenham game, the Qatar Airways Cup.
And they there. You understand? They got the
better
insight.
feel, better feel.
They've both played in World Cup finals.
Yes.
And that intelligence, I can't wait to see with all of the ruckers.
Yes.
You
Fantastic.
Do you like how I throw it?
I feel it.
Okay.
And then also we're going to cover the obviously preview of the game coming up. But then Masala again.
Stop it.
Yes, Masala again.
Ooh.
We're on a Zoom call as well.
What who?
With the rugby guy, Jared, the rugby guy.
Jared Harris.
Yes, that's the one.
I actually saw him at the coin toss, no?
Toin. Okay.
At the coin toss on Saturday at the semi-final.
Was he a ref? No.
And it wasn't the ref.
Okay.
But you're telling me he was at the coin toss, now he's at the Behind the Ruck.
Yes.
I told you.
That's
big deal.
Seatbelt, please. So fantastic. We got a super fantastic lineup. I can't wait to get there.
As World Cup final. Hey? As the countdown.
Bring
hom boys. Bring hom huis toe.
Yes. Fantastic. Eh? So let's get to the main act.
Okay. Guys, up next we've got Bryan Habana and Andrew Mehrtens. Let's go.
Partner, how lucky are we? We got the boys in the building, eh?
We got the legends in the house today, meneer.
Yes, it's privilege. Andrew, how's things that side?
Hi guys, yeah, not too bad. Nice to be on with you. Nice to come in as a South African born. Maybe that's what got me the invite. But we're freezing here in Paris. You know, it's a big difference from the start of the tournament. It probably dropped about 30 degrees, so it's a little bit chilly. But obviously, getting to the exciting time of the tournament. Can't wait for the final.
Yeah, awesome. And partner and a friend of the show is back. None other than BH11, Bryan Habana. Welcome back, my man.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Bryan?
Hey G, I'm not quite Mertz at the moment, so I've had a quick trip over to Barcelona where the temperatures are probably what it was like 5 weeks ago. 5 weeks ago in Paris. But yeah, to Mertz's point, you know, this clash in the Qatar Airways Cup 8-9 weeks ago now, you know, seems very distant, but it is a remake of the '95 final that we saw, and a lot of spice going. So excited to be going into what is a massive finals week.
Andrew will know all about that 1995 final. Boys, the last time I saw the two of them together was at Twickenham.
What happened?
South Africa versus the All Blacks. Qatar Airways Cup challenge.
Okay.
Yes, and Bryan was singing and Andrew was on his phone. Hey, boys, talk us about that Twickenham game. What was happening? and the whole experience.
I'm gonna go in here quickly. So I was obviously loving the crowd engagement, the bit of singing.
Yeah,
I've got a voice for a shower, so I mean that's why I was lip syncing and not actually singing out loud. Mertz was actually just checking his bank account, you know, in terms of the harvesting that he was doing in preparation for Rugby World Cup. So I just made his attention that it's not shown on the line, but he is actually on the big screen. So sorry, Mertz.
And Mertz was on Instagram, was it?
He's quite right. I'm one of those guys who does actually have to check his bank account balance. Like I've got to be conscious of spending and stuff like that. You know, some people don't. That's a bit of a luxury. So no worries there. And I was struggling with the technology that day. I was struggling to get a signal. As you can see, you know, I've got a little bit of low tech going on here as well. So yeah, it's just one of those funny moments. It actually did more good for me than bad, to be honest. You know. People noticing that I'm sitting at the game alongside Bryan Habana is no bad thing for someone like me. And we had George Cregan sitting up beside him. Yeah. We both walked in. Neither of us noticed he was there. We both walked in sort of conscious of not being in the way of people, sat down, and then we next got a little tap on the shoulder. Hey, fellas. So there we go. We had a whole Tri-Nations, the original Tri-Nations there.
Yeah, boys, both of you are probably in France now enjoying it, leading up to the Rugby World Cup final. Okay. Boys, what is the vibe like in France at the moment?
I'm going to go first because I think Mertz can definitely talk from a New Zealand perspective. I mean, it's going to be an absolutely great game. You know, first time ever that two teams are in a final that have both lost a game throughout the tournament. Both South Africa and New Zealand vying for that, you know, fourth number on the jersey. Sam Whitelock vying to become the first ever person to win 3 Rugby World Cups. Siya Kolisi vying to become the first ever Springbok captain to win back-to-back World Cups. So a lot of records. Will Jordan, we probably should have already broken the 8-try record if Richie Mo'unga just passed to him. But I think the vibe in France has been the culmination of 4 years of planning. There's just 2 left. We had an epic semi-final weekend, which was preceded by probably one of the best weekends in Rugby World Cup knockout history. That quarterfinal weekend was absolutely superb. So it has got a bit cold. It has got a bit wet, to Mertz's point. I'm just hoping that the weather, Mertz, doesn't impact the game too much on Saturday.
It looks like there could be a little bit of rain throughout the week, but yeah, you know what, we need a good spectacle for the sport. I think both teams are going to play. I think when we saw the first few minutes against France in the quarterfinal from South Africa, I think that's probably what the All Blacks have got to expect, that kind of intensity, that ferocity, and that kind of innovation as well, that they're going to look to attack the All Blacks. And yeah, I think we do need a really good spectacle for rugby. Who would have imagined that we'd be going to a final without either of Ireland or France, who are the top two ranked teams coming into the, we've got this amazing history. Absolutely. It's fantastic. The rivalry between the Springboks and the All Blacks goes back, over 100 years now to 1921 with that first tour. And it's a rich history. But, the recent history has been all about France and Ireland, really. So, to have a final where those two teams aren't there is a little bit probably disappointing in the context of certainly the French hosting this tournament, but what a rivalry. And I hadn't even remembered really, Brian, you started this sequence of the Springboks and the All Blacks winning 4 in a row. This is the 5th time in a row that either the All Blacks or the Springboks will have won this tournament, which is an incredible dominance.
It's incredible, yeah.
And I know, boys, obviously, Mertz, I want to go to you first of all. I know you obviously still in France. Can you pick up the atmosphere in France? Is there a certain vibe that is hanging in the air that is World Cup final week?
Look, I think a little bit of the edge has gone out of it for the French. Certainly not for the South Africans. They've been in great voice right from back at that Qatar Airways Cup match at Twickenham when we saw the number of South African supporters, and they've been everywhere. And they've been, like New Zealanders, maybe a little bit hesitant to get too far ahead of themselves until now we've got to the final. So we've had huge noise from the Irish and the English in particular, the Welsh in the lead up to the quarterfinals, which was fantastic. Everyone loved the Fijians and everyone was buying Fijian jerseys. But it really obviously has narrowed down now. So plenty of South Africans, but there will be plenty of New Zealand support as well. But I think they're a little bit nervous, and I think they're a little bit quiet, like they were going into that quarterfinal against Ireland. So, again, South Africans don't want to see themselves as favourites. And listening to Francois Pienaar talk the other day at a corporate function that I was surprised Brian wasn't present at, because he seems to be Mr. Everywhere. But Francois talking about how South Africa loves being the underdogs as well. I don't think either team really wants to go into this final. And it's pretty even, obviously, with the bookies. Neither team wants to go in as the overwhelming favourites. But there's plenty of atmosphere from the South Africans. I think the New Zealanders will get into it as we get closer to the game.
BH, obviously, once you are done with all your holidaying there in Barcelona, when are you joining? When are you joining the rugby world in Paris?
So I actually only flew out this morning. I had a 12 o'clock flight to Barcelona, so I got a quick event to do with MasterCard, who's a Rugby World Cup partner, and then back tomorrow. So I'm back in tomorrow night. Mertz hasn't organized me a dinner appearance for tomorrow night, so I'm going to have to be eating Burger King takeout tomorrow. Thanks, Mertz. Really appreciate that.
Well, I tried to get you an entry to the Australian embassy, but they're still a little bit sore about how the Wallabies went. So they're really trying to avoid any real connection with the World Cup at all. I'm only going because I'm an absolute diplomatic favourite. When you look what I've done over the years, what I did for South Africa in '95, by contributing to that final loss in Johannesburg, what I did for the French in '99 when I was part of the All Black team that lost to the French. I'm a diplomatic wonder kid, really. So that's why I get.
And are you married an Australian? I mean, you're just a global citizen, aren't you, Mertz?
I am, but I'm hoping you're available on Thursday night, because I think there's another of those former players' evenings. I want to go along early rather than late. Both of us share the same sort of philosophy. Let's get in there early, make an appearance, say good day to a few of the boys, and get out before it gets dangerous, because it's been a dangerous few weeks, mate, hasn't it?
Be careful.
No, you actually did do a hit and run last week, so I might have to keep you there for a little bit longer.
But this one is for you. Just looking at the All Blacks at the moment, they're having a slow start, obviously against France, and just getting their straps now, slowly working their straps now, and even having a fantastic semi-final. How's the boys looking, and especially playing against South Africa and being a physical team?
Yeah, well, they know it's always physical. They know they've got to be at their best. You shouldn't at this level need any extra motivation, but we're all human. So the most recent outing against South Africa, which was that hiding that the All Blacks took at Twickenham, that will still be in the back of their mind for sure, and contributing to a little extra edge probably at training this week. From what I hear, after they played the bye, which was in the middle of their pool matches, the return of Shannon Frizzell and Lomax into the group, they got a real hard edge to training, and they started getting more competitive, and it got a little bit niggly, which I think when it's controlled is a good thing as well. And they've certainly shown, in the last couple of weeks that it's benefited the team. Having Frizzell back for starters, but also just the way that they've obviously been going about their business. Once they lost to France at the start of the tournament, on top of having lost to the Springboks at Twickenham, there wasn't a lot of talk around the All Blacks. All the chat centred on the current world champion South Africa, the hosts France, and the world number one team Ireland. So the All Blacks were able to go about their business. I don't want to make excuses for them, but I think in that pre-tournament phase and at the start of the tournament, they were probably just working on a lot of training to get them really peaking in the middle of October. Like, I'm not saying it's an excuse for losing to South Africa, and we got comprehensively beaten. But I do think, given the All Blacks got outrun in the second half of both those games, which is unusual for them, I like to think they were working on something around preparing for this stage of the tournament.
Yeah. Just one thing as well, looking at the Springboks as well, okay? In the first 5-8, we've got Manila Bokke and Andre Pollard. And it's always about the 50-50 who's going to play, especially for this weekend. They've got different type of aspects. The one is fast, moving a ball around, where Andre Pollard is more a technical fly-off. Which one is more worried for you, especially for the All Blacks?
I think they both are, to be honest. Obviously, Andre, when he came on the weekend alongside Faf de Klerk, the two of them really stabilised the ship a little bit, steadied the ship. At that point, South Africa was looking a little bit frazzled. I don't for a minute say it was Reinach and Libbok's fault at all, but just having that extra experience, that knowledge coming in can be a real comforting have a real comforting effect on teammates. And so they did that. I think both. I think Libbok's an incredibly dangerous player. I think Andre Pollard as well. I mean, he's renowned now as Mr. Steady and the goal kicker. But if we remember back to his early days, he was attacking the line. He had a real attacking bent. He stood up so flat. He attacked himself, but he also distributed the ball. So he's got an attacking mindset, even though, we've started categorizing him as more of a sure sort of a player and a wonderful goal kicker. So he's still got that attacking mindset. We've seen D'Alende. We know what he can do as well. So that entire back line, well, the whole team, in fact, is dangerous. I don't think there's anyone who's more or less dangerous than any other.
Agree.
Yeah, listen, maybe just on that, I think really before you go, Manie Libbok was absolutely brilliant in that Qatar Airways Cup at Twickenham against the All Blacks. He was so instrumental. The fluidity that he was getting in attack, his kicking game was phenomenal, not just kicking for poles, but touchline kicking as well. And I still feel it was a bit hard to take him off as early as he got taken off last week. South Africa, unfortunately, up front just weren't being dominant. We went for the line 3 times instead of going for the poles, and we didn't convert any one of those opportunities this past weekend, which was disappointing. Yes, Andre and Faf bring in an immense amount of experience. If the conditions are that of sort of the slippery, wet ball, where you need to be a little bit more conservative in your approach. But we also saw the All Blacks, have an absolute go at Argentina and look extremely comfortable. I do think 2 world-class fly-halves that, will give the Springboks a lot. I think in Andre, the leadership, the experience, the world-class ability that he's had over the last 10 years. But in Manie Libbok, the Springbok side has just shown some absolute brilliant efficiency in their fluidity of attack, which has come from confidence. So a tough call for Rassie and Jacques to make ahead of this week. And like I said, hopefully the forwards can lay the platform, because just reflecting on the Qatar Airways Cup, that 7-1 split that we had on the bench, that's actually where the Springboks were dominate in the forwards.
Bryan, the next one I've got actually is a 2-part question for you. Obviously, first one is what did the Boks learn, obviously, from the semi-final, and what strategy do you think Rassie is going to have in place going to the All Blacks in this final?
So I think first it's sort of funny that we talk about Rassie the whole time. Jacques Ninov is actually the head coach. So I think what they learned, I do think our forwards did look a little bit flat. We weren't able to physically impose ourselves for that first 40-50 minute stanza. The likes of Sia, Eben, and Dwayne getting taken off before the 50-minute mark, which I don't think has ever happened in the last six-year tenure with Rassie and Jacques, which is pretty interesting. I'm hoping that has also given those 3 players that I mentioned a little bit of a break in terms of the recovery, being able to get up for a very shorter turnaround than what the All Blacks had. physically, Nche, as good as Andre was in terms of his steeliness, in terms of his efficiency, I think Nche, Nche deserves an absolute. I mean, I'm hoping everyone's been sending him cake the whole week. Salads apparently don't mean scrums.
He needs a statue in
Ox was absolutely brilliant, and changed the course of that game. So I think the forwards would have been rather disappointed in terms of their initial 50-minute effort. They'll know that against a pack that includes not only Ade Sevilla, but to Mertz's point, Shannon Frizzell's coming in. He was the sort of key factor when the All Blacks absolutely dominated the Springboks back in July in the Rugby Championship, and he made the Springboks look rather average in both attack and defense. So physically, the Boks will know they need to step up massively from where they were last week. Getting up for 3 games that have been just so emotionally and physically draining, is going to be a massive key. I'm hoping there has been a lot of recovery. You can't become fitter all of a sudden in a final week. But that first 40-minute stanza, the 40 minutes from the Springboks are going to require clinical dominance, particularly in the first phase contest, whether it be the line-out, the maul, or the scrum, which we weren't able to replicate. And then the accuracy and execution, which is potentially the reason that Rassie took Marnie off, because there was just the lack of accuracy in some of his kicks and the way he was trying to get the backline going.
Yeah, no, that is massive, young boys. From my side, I just want to know from both of you, who's the underdogs and who's the favorites in this game? Because if you look at now Mount Smart and even the game at Twickenham as well in the Qatar Airways Cup, it's 1-1, and it's obviously the final this weekend, boys. One is the World Cup champions, and the other one is the Rugby Championship champions. So, who do you guys think is the underdogs? Who do you guys think is the favorites?
We're the underdogs.
Oh, Mercy.
We're the underdogs.
I think it's the Boks.
No chance.
The last time we stepped out against you guys, we got a pasting at Twickenham in the Qatar Airways Cup. You guys have got that cup. I think really it would be fair with the history, the rivalry between us, but a friendly rivalry, a competitive rivalry. I genuinely think it would be best if we had the World Cup, you have the Qatar Airways Cup, maybe next year in the Qatar Airways Cup, which looks like it's going ahead again. That could be the decider as well. But I think one each would be fair. I think what we do see, while France and Ireland were the number 1 and 2 ranked teams in the world, what we've seen is the 2 best squads get through to the World Cup final. I genuinely think squads came into play at semi-finals time, and All Blacks were able to call on their great bench of Sam Whitelock and Damien McKenzie and Anton Leonard-Brown, etc. We know how good the Boks are with their bench. Nobody comes on and takes anything away from the performance. It's an incredible 23-man squad with the Boks. So we have got the 2 best squads. It's actually really anyone's game, but I maintain the All Blacks are the underdogs.
No chance. There is no chance. No, given how the All Blacks have been performing, I think their clinical approach against the Irish, the number 1 team in the world, defending 37 phases in that last phase of attack, and 152 test capped Sam Whitelock creating the turnover. It just talks to Mertz's point about the bench. The squad rotation has been incredible. The Springboks, the effort that they've had to go through over the last 2 weekends, to get into this final has been absolutely gigantic. It's been monumental, but it's taken a lot out of them physically. So if you look purely at form at the moment, the comfort in which the All Blacks beat Argentina in the other semi-final last week would mean that they probably go in as a little bit of a favorite. I think they know that South Africa has not lost a World Cup final. New Zealand have only lost 1 out of the 4 they've been in.
Thanks, mate.
Teams vying, teams vying for history making all around. The first team to win 4, Sam Whitelock to become the 3rd 3-time champion. And to Mertz's point, if we just get a final that has loads of drama, loads of enjoyment, attracting new fans, showing the world how great rugby is. From a South African standpoint, the Qatar Airways Cup was brilliant, but it was maybe a little bit too lopsided. And I'm just hoping, the Rugby World Cup, this stage, rugby's biggest showpiece, deserves a spectacle that is so important for the game, which I'm hoping we get to see.
Bryan, just looking back at 2007, obviously you guys won it at Paris as well. For the viewer that's watching Behind the Ruck, the viewer that's going to watch the game, what does a final week like this look like? Is it any different to a normal test? Or what was your guys' week like leading into the final you guys won in Paris 2007?
So we didn't have any social media back in 07, Rudy. So, I was looking at any Facebook friend requests I was getting. We were getting faxes and emails put on the walls. This new generation of players, has to deal with so much more. The social media element, whether, it be X/Twitter, whether it be Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook. It's a lot more in your face. I think the rise of Rugby World Cup over the last 16 years since we last won has just continued growing. A final week just is so encompassing. There's so many media commitments. A lot of people within the team have their family and friends come over. There's ticket requests left, right, and center. So you're trying to just focus on being at your best, both physically and mentally. You can't really get any fitter the week of a final. So becoming extremely clinical and accurate in your preparation. Each and every player has their own way of preparing for a game, whether it be visualization, whether it be a little bit of mentorship or video analysis. Paris has got a lot to offer. There's the cultural experiences of all the magnificent architectural beauty that is Paris. So it's about making sure that mentally and physically, you're at your best and come that 80 minutes. For me in 07, my then girlfriend, now wife, had flown over the Saturday night or the Friday night after just finished writing an exam. So that was really an incredible surprise when I walked out at Stade de France and saw my girlfriend, who hadn't been replying to my messages for 18 hours, standing there, which was pretty cool. So I think for us it was very different. We went into that final as favourites against an England side that we dominated. But I think New Zealand, South Africa, the epic rivalry that we have, the game is fully deserving of being of the absolute highest standard to win us new support. We've seen new structures being announced by World Rugby for the coming years. So hopefully the stage is set for an incredible game of rugby.
Now I wanted to ask Mertz the question: does Mertz think that Will Jordan is going to beat Brian, Jonah Lomo, and Julian Sevilla's record?
Well, I don't know. I think if he scores a try, Will Jordan would be more excited for the team in the context of this match. But obviously, it'd be something that he would look back on. I mean, you look at the names that are there, the three of them, unbelievable. And for a guy, a young guy in his career to be potentially on the brink of achieving that, he won't be thinking that going into the final. But if he does manage to get a try, then, like I say, he'll look back on it. But he'll also maybe have a bit of a laugh with Richie Moonga about that last week. I think Will Jordan, if you offered him the chance for him to get a try and lose the match, or for anyone else in the team to get a try and the All Blacks to win, I think he'll go with anyone else in the team. So. But in saying that, personal milestones are important. It's great for the team to recognise those milestones. For South Africa to be able to celebrate Brian, for us to have Jonah when he scored his 4 tries against England, particularly is a big moment for the team to celebrate too.
Yeah, I'm going to text Cheslin Colby just to say, just stop Will. Stop Will. It would be nice to have all 4 of them.
Stop him.
8. Yeah.
Perfect.
You guys know what South Africa's attitude's like when there's anyone being built up, We always hear that Jonah never scored a try against South Africa because you prided yourselves on knocking over this colossal figure and this colossal media figure. Will Jordan's being talked about a lot now. What do you think South Africa's going to do? They're going to do everything, but that guy doesn't get near the line, let alone over it. So what an intriguing battle within a battle.
Yeah, boys, just quickly on the game this weekend, okay? Is it fair to say the Springboks going to win this one because all 4 of us is actually
South Africans.
born in South Africa? Eh? Is it fair to say, Mertz?
Look, I just think it's so hard to pick. I think one of the dangers for New Zealand is how do the Springboks start? Because, Brian's saying you prepare yourself, it's all about mental this week, and it's all about probably looking to find familiarity with what the opposition team does in the early exchanges on Saturday night. Even though we know South Africa are big and physical, if they play like that, at least we know what's coming, and then we can try and work out what to do to defend it. But if South Africa suddenly breaks loose and does something different that the All Blacks aren't expecting, like they did against France, then it's real danger time. So it's just too hard to pick. I can't. You guys are all on South Africa just to bring balance to the show. I've got to be with New Zealand, but I don't want to jinx us. So I'd rather just say I don't know. It's sort of the fence.
So just to confirm, you're not wearing the South African budgie smugglers I sent you last week.
No. I've been wearing them every day since. It's the first day they've had a wash. There's no sweat now in the conditions in Paris, so you don't need to worry. I'll send them back washed though.
Oh, well done, Mertz. Good on you. Excellent.
Yeah. And what's our thoughts? What is predictions, boys? Any predictions, Brian?
Give me a score, Brian, please.
Come on, Brian.
No, so I think as South African, it would be absolutely phenomenal to see and the team create history. I think we all know what an integral factor South African rugby is, and the Springboks are in giving our country back so much in terms of unification. Mertz was there in 95, and as much as he lost that final, so many of those All Blacks understood what being a part of that moment meant for a greater cause, and it wasn't ideal. There's also still the rumors of Susie, which becomes discrepant. But you just look at the magnanimous occasion that was 95. You'd hope that from a South African perspective, we can do something. We have so many problems currently in our country. It's great to see the lights are on in the studio, Jibs. I'm assuming load shedding has maybe been suspended today. But from a South African perspective, this team has done us so incredibly proud. And if they can go on and create history, without a doubt, the greatest group of players that this country has seen. And it would just mean so much. It might be short-lived in terms of sport and the emotions, the joy, the emotional connection that you make, but our country really needs it. And New Zealand have had a tough time over the last 4 years from a rugby perspective. Everyone's come out of COVID. There's just been a lot of imbalance over the last 4 years. So wearing my South African green blood, hope that this team go out do it. But a final is just so finely on the balance. And knockout rugby can be decided by an individual moment of brilliance, a refereeing decision, the bounce of a ball. It's just, it's about using your opportunities. But I'll definitely be wearing the budgie smugglers that Mertz returns to me washed this weekend.
Brian,
Thursday night if you come along to the lounge.
As a level 1 referee, I hope they don't come into this game. I hope there's no silly yellow cards and red cards. So for me, from my side, I hope everything stays above the line and we have a great game about two teams having a go at each other and no stuff that happens off field.
Brilliant.
Happy?
Retweet,
Okay.
Repost.
Boys, from my side, Mertz, Bryan Habana, I know you guys are very busy. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your insight. Thank you for your knowledge. We truly, truly appreciate your time, first of all. And I hope to see a Springbok victory Saturday. Let's go, Bokke!
Let's go, Bokke. Thanks very much, guys. So all the best, Mertz, at Stan Sport and the stuff you're busy with. Same with you, Brian, as well. Thanks for being on the show. Thanks for making time. Hopefully see you guys soon. See you soon. Cheers, eh?
Au revoir. Partner, not in my wildest dreams, right, where I've ever imagined having a show where we have Andrew Mehrtens and Bryan Habana on.
At the same time, legends of the game, legends of the Rugby World Cup.
And they made time again for us.
So
that was
lucky.
obviously awesome.
I have to say thank you.
If you guys are watching this show, Andrew, I hope you subscribe.
Yes, let's send them something, man. I think we should send them, Veldskoene or Rooibos.
We're going to send him a gift, a thank you gift, but subscribe first, otherwise I can't send anything.
And Brian must come to the show. He must come in guest to come fetch his gift.
He must be in South Africa first. He can't be in Barcelona everywhere, okay? But information, that's what I got from them, okay? Very detailed information, very strong opinion, how they feel. Obviously, Andrew was quite trying to play the underdog.
Everyone is
humble pie.
Just because there's a Rugby World Cup, obviously, all the underdog teams is obviously upsetting a lot of other teams. So everyone wants to be the underdog, so they've got kind of nothing to lose. That's what everyone is aiming at.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't think there's an underdog. I don't think there's a favorite. Buddy, my reason for that is I think it's two countries whose fans are always been proud of their team. And I think it's two countries. It's probably the best outcome for me. I'm going to be honest with you.
I agree with you.
I think South Africa versus the All Blacks, Rugby World Cup final in Paris. I can't think of a better thing. Hier, dat maakt voor mij lus.
And even the build-up as well. It's been a fantastic build-up, especially between the two teams.
Yes.
South Africa now being Rugby World Cup champions, defending champions, and New Zealand Rugby champions.
And it doesn't matter that the Boks obviously got through the semis. Like I got into my jersey today.
Squeeze through. The heart attacks as the last 10 minutes.
That's fine. We in the final. And now I'm confident.
And then the Friday night game, New Zealand against Argentina, was a jet ski, Easy like a Sunday
Frizell was
morning.
trotting behind the try line and scored the try.
I wasn't sure, are we playing rugby today or just relaxing, eh?
So while we're on that game quickly, right? Do you think because they had the easier semi-final, is that a positive or
I think it's a negative, eh?
Okay, and what is your reasons for that?
I think it's a negative because you need that physicality. You need that jitters to come through just to make sure you're ready for the final, because the final is going to be a crack of a game, especially playing against the defending champions, a physical team, a wild old engine team, and a team that's obviously struggling getting their way to the final. So it all depends what's going to happen this weekend. But I mean, the 2 games before that, especially in this year, the Mount Smart test, yeah,
yes.
and even the famous Twickenham test, the Qatar Airways Cup. That game was also fantastic. So it's 1-1. So we'll still have to see what's going to happen this weekend.
I actually agree with you, and that doesn't happen often. I know the two of us.
Yeah, fight.
Stamp so bietjie kop, maar alright, ons gaat aan. But I agree with you. I think the fact that they had an easier semi might hurt them because of that being battle ready. I know they played Ireland in the quarterfinal, and I think the fact that our boys were in the battle, hulle was dat het geneek.
Yeah.
Okay, England wasn't easy. We were tested. We actually played poorly if we're 100% honest with ourselves. And I always say, every team has got that one, I don't want to say bad game in them. You got me? And I am confident we got it out of the way now.
Yeah.
Hij is weg. Soos 'n besem. Yo, out. You understand? And our boys, I can't see our forwards being dominated again this weekend, especially in this game. Gibbies is op vir dit.
Yeah.
Frana, op vir
vir
dit.
dit, ja.
Bongi, ready for it.
Yes.
Hy terriertjie, Bongi terrier, I think he's going to eat. Okay, so he's going to be ready for this game. Our pack will not have the same game they had against England, and I am absolutely confident about it. I will put my veldskoene on it. Okay?
Yeah.
That's how confident I am about it.
Yeah, and that's going to start. The game is going to start with the physicality of the forward pack, and they've been brilliant throughout the Rugby World Cup. And it's been.
And if you go back to the Qatar game, the Qatar Airways Cup that won at Twickenham, that's where we beat the All Blacks.
Yeah.
We didn't go for poles that day.
Yeah,
we kicked for the corner.
Put them under pressure, yeah.
And we had variation around our mauls.
Yeah, we put a lot of pressure onto them, and they were trying to attack from their own 22. We put them under pressure. Curtly Arendse scored under the poles. And even the pressure was so much that they had 2 yellow cards, and then Scott Barrett as well, getting the red
Same
card,
face.
diving onto Malcolm Marx. And so discipline is going to be crucial. And we played a fantastic game, but it's, like I said, it's a friendly. It's still a friendly.
No.
You don't think so?
No, there's no such thing as a friendly.
When you wear the Springbok jersey and the All Black jersey.
So I don't see that game as a friendly. What I think that game has given me is the Boks obviously in that game tried the first time ever the 7-1 split.
Yes.
Whether Rassie is going to employ that again. Obviously at this moment we don't know the team yet.
Testing a couple of things.
It worked.
And the All Blacks are not used to going for 6-2. They had a 6-2 that game at Twickenham on the 25th of August.
Understand, and we bullied the All Blacks, and I think that is what made that scoreboard pressure we created on them made them start forcing passes.
Yeah,
and that was in complete contrast to the way they played at Mount Smart earlier in the year.
Yeah, Mount Smart we were dominated.
Yeah, because they dominated us.
They were smart enough actually in Mount Smart because they were playing a tactical game. Okay, there was a lot of like up and unders against us. Putting Willie under pressure in that game. In New Zealand, and just the attacking kicks as well, getting in behind us, making our forwards run around,
Yes.
And they put a lot of pressure onto us.
And while we're on that kicking game that the All Blacks employed at Mount Smart, knowing that England got a lot of reward, from kicking against us this past weekend,
yes.
Right?
We weren't clinical at all.
We weren't clinical.
We put a lot of pressure onto Damien Willemse, especially the guys working back to escort, protecting Damien Willemse.
Do you think that's an area the All Blacks are looking at this week through video?
Yep.
And do you think they've got the kicking game to apply the same pressure on us?
100%. Aaron Smith is fantastic, especially with his kicking game as well, and Richie Mo'unga as well. So we put a lot of pressure onto Damien this past weekend. We didn't have a good escort line, so you need about 3 to 4 guys that can escort and put a lot of safety.
And when you say
net.
escort, you mean they must run towards the carrier.
Towards the carrier.
Okay.
So it's a high risk, high reward type of situation because you want to run back to you, support the guy catching the ball and supporting him. But once you get in the radius of 5 meters, it's you flirting with penalties and stuff. It's important not to look back and look at the runner or the chaser.
Okay.
Okay. So once you pick up the runner coming through, it's important just to jump on his train tracks. They call it the train tracks.
Wow.
Which means he runs, you pick up his line where he's gonna run, and you just jump on it and looking at Damien Willemse or you catch at the back and moving on that because you just want that runner of the New Zealand or England just to look down for a second. You don't want the guy coming at high speed, looking at the ball, and he can make a contest in the air.
Okay, so obviously, hopefully, I know Rashid them, they will fix that this week.
That, yeah.
Obviously, the box, we made early changes. That's what the guy spoke about. They took off Mani quite early. They brought on Faf early. They brought Ergio on early. And I actually want to, even though when I was sitting and watching the game, I was like, you know, as a player, you kind of want to go and feel for Mani. It's like, yes, that's quite demoralizing. Why do you take him off so early?
I think because of the conditions. Obviously, the first, they went to the game thinking it's going to be a
dry weather
running game. And in the first 30 minutes, it was kind of dry, and then the rain came down. And you know, when the rain comes down and it's wet in a tactical game, you need kicking to be on song. And that's why they probably went with Andre, a more mature, experienced flyer, getting go forward for the forwards. And then when the bomb squad came in, we just saw it coming through, flourishing. Yeah.
Actually, Brasi made some fantastic
changes. And the changes actually got us through that last 10 minutes. Because otherwise, it would have been a different mood. Yeah, and
reality is the changes won us the game.
Yeah.
You with me? Andre made the kick to win it.
Yep.
Ergio scored a try for us to get us back into the game.
Yes.
You understand?
Dion Fourie breaking out, especially when Ergio scored at the right time. That timing was crucial. And then Ox.
Yes.
Yes.
Whoever is the prime minister or the minister or the mayor of Bloemfontein, build a statue for Ox and Nche, okay?
Yes.
Because that guy is a national treasure.
Salads don't win scrums.
And salads don't.
You need a bit of skin folds, that protection.
I know, that's why
sometimes not too much.
I've been on
a little bit, not too much. He was fantastic.
I've been on that diet as well. The zero salad.
Yes, but
he's phenomenal. He's been phenomenal since the day he played for Simla's Varsity Cup.
Yes.
I've spent some time with him. And as soon as you spend time with him, you realize the skill sets, his strength, his knowledge and understanding of the game.
Yeah. He's an all-rounder now because even his scrums as well. At first, couple of years ago, he was a runner. He's one of the fastest props out there. Okay, he's a speedster, and he's got some skill as well. But now he's building his game, being more physical, dominating the scrum like he did the last 10-15 minutes. It's just fantastic to see how they've grown, especially the guys coming from the bomb squad as well. We're looking at the bomb squad like guys that can replace people and be active on that last 10-15 minutes. But he's a starter. He can do the job from the get-go.
And just I want to compliment Dan Heeman, the scrum coach, Dion Davids, the forward coach. I know the players speak fondly of them. So I want to compliment the two of them for the great job that they've been doing.
Yeah.
Understand? Then let's look at the other side of the ball, partner, quickly, the All Blacks. What dangers do they present for the Springboks this weekend? And who are you worried about is for their players, the standout players that you're worried about?
There's a couple of standout players, I must say. There's guys like Aaron Smith is going to be crucial. Richie Mo'unga is going to be crucial. And then also Ari Savia showing us what he did in the quarterfinals. If those guys are fighting, it's going to be a tough outing. But it's important for us to just keep with our structures, our defense, make sure we're in their face. We can't give those guys time on the ball, okay? Because physicality, we've got physicality. But if they've got time on the ball, they're skillful players. If they've got time on the ball, it's going to be a long day at the office. So it's just important for us to make sure we're physical. Ill-disciplined, we can't have ill-discipline. Okay,
yes.
We need a clean game. We need a green light game. We know we've got Wayne Barnes obviously reffing this game as well.
Excellent ref.
Excellent ref.
Yeah. There's going to be no chat about referees.
Yes. And then we don't want cards. We need the discipline needs to be on song.
Looking at the pressure you're talking about, my partner. The All Blacks in the past have generally struggled against the rush defense. Obviously, we're gonna defend like that again. Do you think they've got an answer for it, or do you think that is the point of difference we're gonna have in this game?
I think they do have an answer for it. It's just important for us for our timing to be perfect. We saw it against Argentina as well when they the shape on shape. We talk about the triangles, having a double triangle, pull it out the back. But their triangles is so tight, so our defenders must come tight. Our spacing is usually 2 meters to 3 meters. Now they're forcing us to have a meter and a half. And what does that mean? There's space out wide in the 15 meters. That's why they scored a couple of tries like that. Will Jordan just walking in, their shape pulling us. Jody Barrett is not a guy that's going to be physical.
I know you said this before,
in the vacuum. So what other traits or what other positiveness he's going to bring to the party is just making sure he's square, getting the defenders square, having his options out wide, and just making space for the guys at the back. So as long as we give Richie Mo'unga, Jody Barrett, no time, and Bowden Barrett as well, no time on the ball, being in their face, crucial for Jesse Kriel to do that, we're going to have a steady performance.
Okay, and then obviously the hot topic that's been for the whole World Cup, it's Andre Mani.
Yes.
Who is our guy? Andre Mani. I want to start with a 9.
Let's go with the 9 first. I want to ask you this question. Okay, obviously we had Kobus now, especially the past 2 games. Faf has done the job for us in the Rugby World Cups, the previous Rugby World Cups, and he was in fantastic form leading up to the Rugby World Cup. What do you think? Why did Jacques go with Kobus the last 2 games? Obviously Kobus is a runner. It feels to me like he's linking Kobus and Mani Lebok as a unit, and Faf and Andre as a unit.
I think so as well.
So what's your thoughts on 9 that needs to start, and even
easy
that combine him without 10?
Easy. For me, it's Faf. Faf starts at 9. Reasoning for that is any or every fire. If you start a fire, what do you need first? Lighter. That's Faf de Klerk.
Let's see.
You understand?
He's got that.
So for me, once we go into this big games, I want him because he's the heartbeat of South African rugby.
Yes.
You understand?
I like the pressure he puts on too.
Yes, agree.
Yes. Kobus is more a fast, speed of play, energetic type of 9. Where Faf is more like a, Chihuahua. He's busy, he's in your face.
And I believe Faf's fundamentals is a bit better than Kobus's. That is the box kick and the general basis of our passing over the base. So for me, it's out and out. I hope they start Faf.
I'm in the same boat as you.
I really hope they start Faf.
Who do we connect him with? Because your salt and pepper needs to be a combo.
I think for this week, and I don't know what Rassi's plans is, that can be anything. The traffic cop, Rassi, they got their own stuff going. I would like us to go with Faf and Andre as starting combination. I think a final game is, I don't see us being as flamboyant and as attractive as we've been in the past. I think we're going to kick them the ball and say, All Blacks, you run it. Kind of giving them the rope. You guys hang yourself. And for that reason only, I think we should go with Fafi and with Andre. They're more tactical astute. Yep. And I like, because Fafi just gets that fire and that energy going for us, which we're going to need. You understand?
Yeah, so basically I agree with you with Faf as well. But I strongly believe what happened the last 2 weeks has worked for us.
Okay.
So I would go with Mani. I feel like Mani, the first 20, 30 minutes, we need to move them around the park, give him something different. Andre's been awesome. Yes, I understand that Andre saved the games for us now the past couple of weeks, and he's been clinical in that, and he's got experience, especially when it comes to playoffs. But I mean, that first 30, 40 minutes, move him around the park, because with Mani comes a lot of options. The cross kicks is
He finds space.
He finds space everywhere. He plays the space. Where Andre is more tactical, drops in the boot a little bit and kicks the bombs, put him under pressure, get contestables in the air, get contestables on the ground. So I would go with Mani, my personal opinion. Start the game with Mani. Move him around the park, He's also been, this last 2 games, he's been clinical with the boot. Goal kicking is no problem for him.
No, that was never a problem.
Yeah,
okay.
No problem.
Stop
and
it.
Andre was now actually just the boost and fantastic coming off the bench as well. Personally, I think that's the game plan we should go with. Start with Faf and Mani, and bring Andre on early. If that's after 30 minutes, if that's after 50 minutes, that's just my opinion.
That's fine. And I think, as Warwick Galant in the previous episodes mentioned, that either one leads you to victory. Mani and Andre.
Ways,
So we obviously lucky in selection.
Yes.
So
Future's looking good, yeah.
Future's looking awesome, and doesn't matter which way Rassi goes. They are 2 fantastic players. I wish them nothing but the best for tomorrow night.
Can't wait. It's going to be fantastic. Yo, St. Dennis, France.
Ek moet weer 'n asynlappie leer op asynlappie.
It's going to be another. As long as a good game, man. Especially like the.
No, it will be.
Yeah, because the 9:00 games on in the quarterfinals was absolutely fantastic. New Zealand in Ireland and South Africa against France. If you can get the same spectacle, it would be flipping awesome. I think, and like it's gonna be also good to see Rugby World Cup final. We need all the support we can get.
Please, guys.
And obviously Malcolm, Marks, and Pimpy is going over to support the boys. That is fantastic to see.
Well done, SA Rugby.
Yes.
Excellent, guys.
The boys need all the support they can get.
If there's extra seats for
2 more. Throw it out there. They can catch it.
Too late.
Yes.
But yeah, we're obviously ecstatic about the game. We're nervous probably. I think from now on, Friday leading into tomorrow morning, the nerves will start coming.
Yeah.
Because it's only a 9:00 game. So guys, if you've got nothing to do, behind the ruck.
Yeah.
And share hom eerste. It's
share.
9:00 môre aand.
Yes, there's a lot of time to just catch up what the boys are doing. Eh?
Share the episode. Make sure that your family members have subscribed before. Okay?
Yes, and go check the other episode, the BTR Take Doha. There's another one, a special edition. Yes, nice and easy, nice and funny. Get the inside scoop of that. But yeah, it's important just, guys, get behind the Springboks.
Yeah.
It is Bok Friday.
That's it, Mani.
Dra die ding. And in English, wear the thing.
Yeah, Mani says in English, wear the thing.
Yes, wear the
Bok
thing.
Friday,
We wearing
wear
the
your
thing.
jerseys.
Yes.
Okay? And if you get someone in the mall and you don't know them and they got a Bok jersey and you just start singing Shozaloza.
Yeah.
For no reason.
And a small chirp. Hey, buy your Dra your jersey, buy your jersey.
Buy your jersey.
Yeah.
If someone is not wearing your jersey, you ask them where's your jersey. Okay?
Fantastic.
And then crack on.
Yeah, crack on. Hoe sê ons? After 9:00, 11:00, crack on.
Crack on.
There's no work tomorrow? Sunday.
Apparently, Cyril, before we go, Cyril said public holiday. I don't know if someone has checked in with him if that is a reality or not. But the rumor was there will be a public holiday in South Africa.
Find his email address, guys. We all send him an email. Don't forget about us. We want a public holiday.
Hy het altyd so in die ane opgekom, maar sy dinge
fellow South Africans, it's me in the building. Yeah, fantastic. And then we got up next. The rugby guy.
And behind the ruck.
And behind the ruck. Can you believe it? Mr. Goose Tip.
He's at every games. At all the games he's been at.
You must tell us how he does it. Because we want that blueprint, because we want to be at all the games. Got 4 years to play, or what?
Dis het geëet.
Okay.
Guys, up next we got Jared Harris, the rugby guy.
It's the Goose Tip King in the building, eh? Jared Harris, the rugby guy, is in the building.
Welcome, brother. Welcome to our show.
Welcome, how's things?
How's it, guys? How are you?
We're good. Welcome to our show, my man.
Fantastic. Hey, first of all, have you heard about Behind the Ruck? First of all, are you a subscriber?
Of course.
Because I'm a subscriber at the rugby guy. Hey, I'm a subscriber.
You're my best friend. Why wouldn't I follow it?
Jared, how's things? Where are you at the moment? So you currently in France? You at the game? I saw you at the game.
I was at the game. Yes, I was at both semi-finals.
Both semi-finals, eh?
Unbelievable, but I'm back home in sunny Devon in England.
Oh my goodness. What do we have to do, partner, to be at the coin toss?
Was he at the coin toss?
I put on the TV, I said, there's the rugby guy.
I'm sure he's a ref. He must be a ref.
Yeah, I got very lucky. Was I on the TV? I didn't realize that.
Whatever.
You're a big name, eh? You are a big name, eh? Even though you have 20 international jerseys, he's confused. He's like a chameleon in a smarty box. He doesn't know what jersey to wear.
I see him in a Springbok one.
Currently, yeah. It's a massive game coming up. Who are you supporting? Obviously, you're staying in England and you were born in South Africa. Who are you supporting?
Who was I supporting, or who am I supporting on Saturday?
On Saturday is the big question.
So this Saturday, I will be supporting the Springboks, of course. Ooh. Of course. Last Saturday, I was supporting the Springboks too.
Fantastic. That's
Partner, do you think he's taking both his jerseys to the game?
Yes.
Or is he actually backing the Boks and only taking the Springbok jersey with?
That's a tough question. He's got to answer that.
I will not be taking the All Black shirt.
Wink. Talking about the All Black shirt, you got an All Black friend there in the studio, in there where you are?
Yeah, I do actually. My housemate.
Go call him. We would like to meet him.
I don't like All Blacks.
Huh?
I don't like All Blacks.
Okay,
But let's see him.
Call him. I want to get his views on this.
He's a nice guy. He's funny. He's good looking. He's handsome. I can get him for you. 2 seconds.
Yes, please.
He sounds South African.
Yeah, please.
Good day, mate. I mean, kia ora, mate.
Oh,
Kia ora. Kia ora.
He's in the building, eh?
Wow.
Did you get the haircut? Because usually you got some fluffy hair, eh? Then Auckland, no barber?
I know. I'm going to get a lot of stick for this. I can't believe I agreed to do this, but hey, all for comedy value, eh?
Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, we get used to it. First of all, I want to know, thoughts on this weekend. Massive game. Obviously, you've watched the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and this finals now. It's been a cracker for Rugby World Cup. I can't believe it's coming to an end. Can't believe it's coming to the end. What's your thoughts on the field of this weekend?
I don't know. Do you know what? I was sat around loads of South Africans, and a lot of them, after about 60 minutes, thought, "Oh no, it's South Africa aren't even going to the final." So, and the way the All Blacks played in the semi-finals, I mean, they blew Argentina away. It's going to be a tough one, guys. It's going to be a tough one. But you've got to back the box. And that's me saying that with an All Black shirt.
It's good. We understand the comedy value you bring.
Anything in this show, anything just flies. Everything flies.
Jared, quickly from my side, you've been at most of the games. You've been at the whole World Cup. Explain to the viewer that wasn't at the World Cup what the whole tournament has been like.
Oh, it's just fantastic. It brings everyone together, doesn't it, a Rugby World Cup, to see all the different fans coming together, the chaos, the camaraderie. It's just brilliant to see. And it's a shame it's coming to an end.
Yeah. Are you going to be at the Rugby World Cup final? Because you're so lucky.
I'm not going to be there, unfortunately.
Oh my
Not
goodness.
yet. Not yet. Fingers crossed I can still sort something out.
Okay.
And I can see the box go back to back.
4 years. 4 years.
Back to back.
Hey. Back to back. Hey, don't get carried away.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, Jared, boy, when you're in South Africa, come over, man. Come say hello. You've been here, obviously, in Cape Town Stadium, DHL Stadium, and we want to get more of those Goose step. Eh?
I also want to try one.
Huh?
I also want to see if I can still do
he's
one.
the king, yeah. He's the king.
Yeah, I would love to see it. Actually, you should send me a video and I can do a little rating. Both of you.
Yeah.
I will do it one
He's
right
struggling
after
with
this.
these. He's struggling with these.
After this, I'm going to do one. Challenge accepted.
Accepted, eh? Jared, thank you very much for making time, eh? Obviously, it's been awesome just to have you on the show. Yes, it's fantastic, eh?
It's a big deal.
Making time for us, eh? It's not about having time, it's about making time, and it's make time for us.
Thank you,
We
champion.
really appreciate it. And all the best that side, eh? I hope your nerves will these nerves, eh? I'm nervous for this game coming up.
And I hope you subscribe to Behind the Ruck.
Yeah, he's going to. Thank you very much
Thanks
for
for
making
having me,
time.
guys. All the best.
Yes,
Cheers, Jared.
Cheers, Jared.
Bye.
The rugby guy, Jared Harris. Fantastic to have him on the show.
Good sense of humor.
Yo,
I think
like,
guys don't get it confused that he wears different jerseys. He's got a fantastic sense of humor and he brings us a lot of comedy. So, hey, for away.
Hey, for away, eh? Camille in the smarty box. And he's confused what team he must support. But he's at the Rugby World Cup and it was so fantastic.
Say that other one again.
Camille in the smarty box. He doesn't know what color he wants to be, what jersey he wants to wear. But he's at the Rugby World Cup.
He's
It's fantastic to see.
entertaining us.
Yes, fantastic to see for the Rugby World Cup and even the rugby in general as well. Yeah, fantastic.
And that's a chicken rappy.
Wow.
The
Why
World
do
Cup.
all good things come to an end? Flames to dust, huh? I don't like it when things just comes to an end like this. Huh?
It has to. All good things come to an end. This is the end of the episode,
Yep.
obviously, partner. Fantastic views. We had Bryan Habana Andrew Mehrtens. Oof,
Wow.
well, those are legends. Then we had, is it comedic sensation? What do we call him?
Legend.
Jared Harris.
Jared Harris, yeah.
Just legend.
Gustav King.
Gustav King.
Yes.
Okay.
Stick to Gustav King. He's very good.
We had
He's got
Gustav
something.
King on the show. Please go and check out his stuff, guys. It's
Yep.
awesome.
Subscribe.
He's doing fantastic
work.
things for the entertainment of rugby.
Yep.
Which is really good. And then obviously, I want to thank our sponsors of this episode, Qatar Airways. Thank you for making this episode possible.
Yeah.
I want to thank Lulabet, our proud partner at the top there by Juan.
Yes,
I want to
making
thank you
it
for
all
your
possible.
ongoing support. And then this week, the first time ever, we're going to have a beauty moment of the week brought to you by Rooibos Man.
Rooibos Man. Ah,
Yes.
Okay, nice. I like this.
They're going to look after my wrinkles.
We're keeping this, viewers guessing, eh?
So up next, the beauty moment of the week brought to you by Rooibos Man.
Wow.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That's what the Springboks in South Africa mean.
That's what I felt as well.
Exactly.
The people is behind the Springboks, hey?
Bokke, please do it for us tomorrow night.
All the best,
we
man.
believe.
Let's finish well.
Yeah.
We got guys like, Jackie's going away as well. It would be awesome for us, especially for South Africans, to finish this Rugby World Cup well, because it's been a brilliant Rugby World Cup. PG.
Yeah. And if the Boks win, let's crack on into
crack
the
on,
evening.
yeah.
Okay, guys? Let's have some fun.
Yes, let's have fun. Yeah.
Okay, guys. I'm Rudy Page.
I'm Juan de Jong.
And the Ruck is clear.